Today's podcast episode is a little different. We're sitting here with Jacob. Jacob is a patient optimization specialist with a little bit over a year of experience. This is going to be an audio-only experience, so just sit back and listen to our sultry voices. All right, Jacob, thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
So, patient optimization, you mentioned that that's more of like pitching and selling to clients.
Yeah.
And finding clients.
Managing clients, introducing them to the world of peptides, kind of explaining what to expect, figuring out their health journey, really, because everybody has their own unique body type, which we all know, but I think kind of in the pharmaceutical world, there's more of a one-size-fits-all kind of approach to things, whereas in the peptide world, it's much more of a individualized, unique plan. As far as dosing, what kind of medications you're taking, how often you're taking them, what your goals are, things like that.
So it's similar, it's in the healthcare industry, because the same is said for pharmaceuticals.
It is in the healthcare industry. It's just not, how do I say this? It's maybe not quite above board, I would say. So if you go to a primary care doctor, right, like through insurance, they're not going to give you peptides, because these things are not FDA approved, most of them, and there's not clinical studies on most of them.
It's very recent. So you're essentially like, I wouldn't say you're selling it to like guinea pigs, but this is sort of like the test.
Yeah,
run,
it is. Yep.
Which is fine. I mean, that's how things are introduced, right?
Well,
as long as people know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's always communicated up front, and that's one of the things that I always say is I'm not talking you into anything, and this is ultimately your decision, right? So however you want to move forward or not move forward, that's completely up to you. Here are your options. Here's what I can offer you, and take it or leave it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting that you say that, because I think it does go hand in hand as far as, this is something that we're going to delve into a little bit later, but the side effects of things, because in the pharmaceutical world, right, like opioids, that's been a big thing over the past couple of years, and it's very addictive. And this is something that we're going to get into with peptides too. But there's always like side effects to everything, right? You have to kind of like choose. What's that saying? Choose your devil or something.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. Okay. I mean,
not even close.
It's better.
That was not.
But, all right, let's do a warm up. Let's go over the questionnaire answers. This is something that I do with all of my guests.
Okay.
So your current goal and project is attaining enlightenment and inner peace, as well as understanding the nature of the soul.
Yeah.
That's quite a goal.
Yeah.
It's quite a goal. How's that going?
It's going okay, actually. I think it's one of those things that you probably never quite accomplish. But in my mind, I just don't really see anything else more important. It's hard for me to really kind of focus on other things, because that's kind of my primary focus.
Is that like finding balance within yourself? What do you think that would feel like?
Yeah. So to me, enlightenment is like knowing yourself and knowing from whence you've come, and then having peace about where you'll go. Because I don't think you'll ever know where you're going to go, but having peace about it is important to me.
Yeah.
And I think we've had these, I like to kind of read up and explore all these different kind of ways of doing that, because we've had these examples throughout history that allegedly have kind of attained this. So you have like Siddhartha. Siddhartha is Buddha.
Yeah.
You have Jesus Christ, who's maybe the biggest. And then you have kind of these like subcategories where it's like, Gandhi, Abraham, Noah, there's just kind of all these examples you can kind of point to of like basically like these people that have attained some type of understanding about existence that's very appealing to me. So, yeah, that's kind of my goal there.
Okay. It's definitely a journey. Do you have habits that help you center? Do you journal, meditate? Yeah,
I journal and meditate, but I don't meditate as much as I would like. But this kind of plays into the peptide world a little bit too, because it's about kind of like a natural healing approach and just kind of like general wellness. So deep breathing is huge. Like I think all of us kind of remember that like as a kid. At least my mom. Like when I would like get worked up like as a little kid, my mom would always be like, take a deep breath. And there's something that is very like ingrained, instinctual, and primal and biological with us, that when you take deep breaths, it calms the nervous system and it makes you feel better.
100%.
So yeah, so like deep breathing and meditating kind of go hand in hand.
I love that. I love that healthy upbringing for you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then your current season of life title is spring.
Yeah, because I think that
is it having to do with the weather, or
no, it just happens to be spring. It's because I do feel like there's a little bit of a rebirth going on with me in a great way. So
I love that.
Yeah, thanks. Taking my health really seriously. I've cut out a lot of things like bad habits. Huh?
Like social media?
I mean, yeah, I cut that out a while ago, but I mean more like substances.
Yeah. Like
I've cut those things out. Mainly drinking. Like drinking is just so bad for me. And trying to exercise, I spent like basically a decade there where I neglected my health in my 20s because I was fortunate enough to just kind of be naturally healthy, and I didn't have to fight with like weight or anything like that. So I didn't really have any nudging to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And
I mean, that's the beauty of youth, right?
I guess, but you know, a lot of times, like people get into their late 20s, it's like, oh, I'm starting to put on some pounds, or you know, I'm getting winded going up the stairs or whatever, and that just never happened to me, luckily. But what did happen to me is all that time cumulatively of not taking care of myself was really making me mentally maybe not feel great, and anxiety and things like that was harder to deal with.
Yeah.
Because I think your physical health and your mental health are...
They go hand in hand.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
They do. All right. Thank you for letting us get to know you a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, so delving straight into your world of peptides, what is the reality of working in patient optimization? Like, what does your sales process look like? Take us into a little glimpse.
Yeah. I hesitate to even say sales because we're in a great... So, a couple things. One is I think peptides are just become a really hot topic.
Yeah.
They're really popular. And I think that's an interesting thing to look at of like, why is that happening? Right? Like, why is so many people attracted to this thing? And it doesn't really seem to be specific to any subcategories of society. So meaning like all ages pretty much seem to be interested in it. Men and women. Race doesn't really seem to be playing any role. So it's just like everyone seems to kind of be interested in peptides. And so what that tells me is the traditional medical world is not enough. If it was enough, then you wouldn't have a desire to seek other avenues. So I think there's mistrust there, at least from some people. And, you know, with most medications, there are things that they call side effects. And I say that not as like I'm introducing that idea, but just when I think about those things, those are not side effects, they're just effects. So side effects don't really exist, is what I'm saying. It's just these are the effects of the medication. So if you take medication to lose weight, and the side effects are suicidal thoughts and depression, those are not side effects, those are just all the effects of the medication.
Yeah, 100%. It's just marketing.
Right. So I think those are a bit of a turnoff. And I think that that's part of the reason that people are seeking peptides.
That's interesting that you say that. You seldomly hear people, especially that are promoting a certain product, say everything's encompassed, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Most people, when they're trying to like pitch something, they say, well, this is what it's going to do for you. However, you may experience these other side effects.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'll include this. I mean, part of the reason I want to kind of stay private is because I want to speak my mind, and I want to, you know, I do work for somebody and I do work for a company. So when I'm at my job, I do have to kind of take that into consideration. I can't speak as freely as I would like sometimes, maybe. But in my mind, there's no way around paying it. You have to pay the piper.
100%.
At some point, right? So, like, great. Okay, there's all these GLPs, and that's like, okay, great. You can lose weight without doing anything. right?
Yeah.
Just like stabbing yourself with a needle. And it's like, okay, this stuff is new and it hasn't been around long enough to know if there's any real issues there, right? Long term. It just seems in history and the way nature works that there's really no way around paying your dues, right? So like you don't get things for free.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Moving into the myths and such of peptides, what do you think, in your experience working here, do people completely misunderstand about peptides and performance optimization in general?
I think in general, kind of what I was just talking about, but people think that these things are going to get them to their goals without them having to put any effort in. Mm. So like, for example, you get a guy who's obese and he wants to feel better and have more energy, so you give him a couple of peptides, but he lays in bed all day and eats like shit. And it's like, and then 3 months he's complaining that these things don't work. And it's like, yeah, well, you kind of have to do your part too, right? So like, there's definitely that. And I think that's not specific to peptides. That's just all medication.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can look at like the mental health epidemic, basically, that's definitely happening in our country, probably across the world. But I think that's a big part of it too. Is like people are like, if I get this medication, it will make me feel better. It's like you need to change your life. You need to change your lifestyle. You need to change what you're doing. You need to like actively work on what you are thinking about when you are thinking about it. Like
multiple things that come into play.
Yeah, and you think I'm kind of crazy because I don't have social media and all that stuff, and you're not.
I don't think you're crazy.
You're not alone on that. A lot of people
paranoid, maybe.
A lot of people give me a bunch of shit for it. It's not even paranoia. It's just like it makes me feel bad, and I don't think it's good for anybody. I think like, why do you have it?
I think it's more so to stay connected in my eyes, because I have family abroad, and social media has helped me feel closer to them because I'm able to see their day to day.
Yeah. If that were true, then you would just be friends with your family on social media.
I am friends with my family on
social
media.
You wouldn't have all these other people that you barely know.
I mean, yeah, but it's grown into that. But I think that's how it starts. It's feeling connection.
Yeah. And like most things, it's like, I'm not somebody that's like an all or nothing person. So like, I think there are great aspects to it. Mm-hmm. I think what it's become, like during COVID is when I was like, I can't do this really anymore, because I didn't really have anything else to do like everybody, and you kind of just like were living in this weird world of like virtualness, right? So it's like kind of just like this thing that it just exploded really. And now I think it's become like this kind of performative, always self-judging, and we do that enough without social media, like holding ourselves to weird standards, right? And like always gauging ourselves based on other people, and we tend to kind of be hard on ourselves and give other people the benefit of the doubt or see the good in others. So it's like you're basically measuring the worst in yourself against the best in other people.
Yeah, because social media paints an image of other people's lives that isn't realistic.
Yeah.
And I totally get that, especially I reconnected with an old friend, not to get into it too long, but we hadn't talked for like 5 years, and she's like, I know your life is going great. I've seen your posts on social media, and I'm like, with that, like, of course people only post the good, like very rarely, like unless you're an influencer, do you post things that are hard for you, because that's not what you share with the world. That's what you share with people that you trust.
I mean, if I see, because I still am definitely on YouTube, I love, like, I got to do something. But if you see somebody posting the worst too, I'm always like, this is the fakest shit I've ever seen. If you see somebody crying? If you see somebody filming themselves crying,
cringy.
Yeah, but that's like really, that's like a thing, It's like people think like, so everything has become performative. Like even the real emotions, like air quotes, real emotions that you're feeling are performative. And I can't see how that is good for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a pro and a con. It also gives people freedom. A lot of people attain freedom from their 9 to 5, from having to go into a day job because they're making a lot of money on social media, So it's turned into different avenues.
That is true. I mean, self-promotion, right? Like business promotion. I totally get those things. Yeah, so like I said, I mean, I think there's good and bad for me personally.
Yeah, I think people should definitely limit it though, because people aren't meant to look at themselves for that long of a time. No. You're not supposed to look in the mirror for 5 hours a day. No,
and what kind of world is it where it's like you put a picture of yourself that you like, and then you like it, and then now you're putting it out there, and the reaction that it gets now changes. It takes it from you. So it's not yours anymore, right? Like, the reaction that it gets is like, this is either a good picture or a bad picture based on the way that other people are reacting to it. And that is just, it's just giving too much of yourself away to people that aren't even in front of you.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you have to set boundaries, right? It's knowing yourself and knowing when enough is enough. Because even me, like, having a podcast, you have to engage with your audience, but I always give myself a limit of, once I start to feel like I need to take a deep breath, I get off social media. And that usually happens within 5 minutes of being on it. I do give myself that barrier because, like, some people can stay on for 5 hours a day, and I think that's not healthy either. You just doom scroll is what it's called.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. So breaking into, like, the hot topics, right? Most of these are actually audience-driven questions that I've received. What are the symptoms or side effects, or, you know, how you call it, the just effects of that people report with peptide use? And that includes the long-term effects too. Yeah. I don't know if it's been long enough to know the long-term effects, but
so there's so many peptides. That's kind of the thing that it's hard to kind of answer that question. I am going to do my best, but there's so many peptides that are used for different things. So like, there's GLPs, which were created for diabetes, and then now they're used to lose weight.
Is that Ozempic? Is that a peptide?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Ozempic was made for people with diabetes because they can't process their glucose correctly. And so the way those things work is it stops the cravings, and it's like a mental thing. Like, it actually makes you not want the food as much, which to me is just so frustrating and crazy. It's like, just don't eat so much. And then it also kind of slows the way that the food moves through you. But to get back to your question, there hasn't really been enough. It hasn't been around long enough, really, for any long-term kind of risks. There are theoretical cancer concerns with peptides. So I'll give you examples. So BPC 157 is the most popular peptide. It's a healing peptide. Okay. It's amazing. And what it does is it targets damaged cells in your body. So if you inject it into your calf and you have damaged shoulder tissue, it will go to the damaged shoulder tissue and it will repair it. And it works incredibly well. The theoretical problem with it is something called cell angiogenesis, which means if you do not have a problem, so if it doesn't have anywhere to go, you don't have any damaged tissue, which is probably pretty rare, and you continually do it for a long period of time, it could cause cells to grow in places that they maybe shouldn't be growing.
Like cancer?
Yeah, so if you have existing tumors, it might help those tumors grow. But this is theoretical. There's really no proof there. I can say I know people that have been on these things for years and they've had nothing like that, never seen anything like that. But that's a concern. And so the idea is kind of you cycle on and off of these things and you only do it when you need them.
It's actually, I love that you talked about this because this kind of like segues into the next question, which is one of the most debated topics online right now is minoxidil. Mm-hmm. The use and discontinuation of that. So
interesting. I didn't know about this.
It's a treatment that's rather like than a permanent cure, but the internet has like a lot of conflicting interpretations about that.
Okay.
Whether stopping it causes more shedding or just a return to baseline hair loss.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. In your world, how do you explain what happens when someone stops using something like minoxidil or something similar like retatrutide?
Yeah, retatrutide. Yeah. So, all right. So first, let me be clear. Minoxidil is not a peptide. Minoxidil is a pharmaceutical drug.
Okay.
But What's
the difference?
A peptide is it exists in nature and biology already. So that's the problem with the FDA. So the FDA can't patent it because it's like CO2. So it's like you can't patent CO2. It just it just exists. So you can use it for things. So that's why there's no clinical studies on it either, because you need millions of dollars to make these clinical studies happen, and they're like, we can't patent it. We're never going to be able to make money off of it and control it. So there's
okay, yeah, and that's a real thing. I just wanted to say this because just because something's FDA approved doesn't mean it makes it safe.
I mean, you're talking to the right person.
FDA, FDA approves so many things in our food that's like banned in other countries.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, moving on. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Yeah, our country is maybe one of the only governments that poisons their citizens knowingly.
Literally, because that's how they make money off pharmaceuticals too. But
right.
Anyway,
yeah. We digress. So minoxidil works by keeping your hair in the growth phase. So your hair, everyone sheds, and you shed about healthily. You shed between 50 and 100 hairs a day, men and women. And you just don't notice it until you start to really lose hair, because those hairs are replaced by healthier hairs, and there's a growth cycle, and it just kind of keeps going like that. You also get like a rest phase, so your hair grows, and then new hair will come in, and then it'll kind of halt or stop and slowly kind of grow, and then it'll shed, and then new hair will come in. Minoxidil stops that whole process and just keeps you in the growth phase.
So it's kind of like when you're pregnant. You don't shed when you're pregnant.
Did not know that.
You don't lose hair.
Did not know that. Interesting. Yeah, so the minoxidil will keep you in the growth phase, and when hair's in the growth phase, it's a little bit thicker. So like the diameter is a little bit better. That's why some people that take minoxidil, their hair, they might appear to have more hair, and they might have a slightly more, like a higher hair count, but really it's more of a density thing, and it appears to be more hair. Okay. So when you stop taking it...
Does it make the follicle thicker?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so the way that hair works, especially you see it in men the most, is hair is dependent on something called DHT. There's a bunch of ways you can lose hair. So you can be vitamin deficient and you can lose hair. You can have a freak immune system thing and you can lose hair. Natural aging is slight hair loss, but not much. And then the big one is DHT. So you have testosterone in your body, depending on how much testosterone you have. That's why you see men that have higher testosterone usually have higher hair loss, right? So like men that have, and those kind of men also usually have hairier bodies. Big, they can grow full beards. Usually, generally, kind of more muscular and stronger.
Okay. Trans people that get on T, trans men, when they get on T, they also start having hair loss. It's called top of the hair balding. Yeah. Because that's what T does.
Exactly. Yeah. So that stuff your testosterone converts into something called DHT, and then that slowly shrinks the follicle, and then eventually the follicle gets so weak and falls out. What the kicker is, and this is unbelievable, but the hair on the sides of the head are resistant to DHT.
That makes sense. Because
That's why you see a bald guy, pattern. And there's that's always the pattern. Is like it's the sides of their heads.
Continue growing.
Right. So that's why you can get hair transplants.
I see.
You take those hairs, you put them up on the top, and they're resistant to DHT, and they don't fall out. It's kind of a crazy, doesn't make sense type of evolutional thing, but it is what it is. So the DHT, you can get DHT blockers and things like that. The problem is DHT also works as it affects libido. It also affects like sexual function. So if you stop DHT in the system, you can get things as a male. You can get things like ED, and it also is part of brain function. So DHT affects the hippocampus part of the brain, which is things like directional function and kind of like understanding of like where things are. And there's probably more aspects to that. But those are kind of the big ones. So there's a lot of like kind of debate about like what do you do? How safe is it to do it? Here's the other thing that those things do. So you have dutasteride and you have finasteride. Finasteride is the one that's used more commonly, and that blocks 70% of the DHT conversion in the body. So that's used more commonly because you still have 30% of the DHT. The side effects, or as we say, the effects, are way less likely to kind of be noticeable, or if they are, it's just kind of like it's not like an all or nothing. Dutasteride cuts off 98 to 100% of the DHT, so basically you have none in your body. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's when you start to really see like serious effects. You can do topical things, and the idea there is that the molecules are just too big to be absorbed into your body. So you put them on the scalp, and it is absorbed into the scalp area, and that'll help the hair, but it won't get into your system. So you can avoid the negative effects. But to get back to the minoxidil, if you stop abruptly, you will experience probably more shedding. I think it's a little bit misunderstood. So it's not going to cause more hair to fall out. It's just going to, the hair that would have fallen out later, it's all going to happen at once.
So it's exactly like pregnancy, because after you give birth, not to go back to that, but like after you give birth, all of the hair that you didn't lose falls out.
Okay, then it's...
Which is like a big clump.
It's the same thing. Yeah, okay. So it's the same thing. So it's like the minoxidil is keeping your hair in the growth phase. The hair that would fall out, it's not going to, because it's just like it's just sending signals to your scalp like, keep growing, we're just staying in this phase. As soon as you stop it, it's going to go back to the normal cycle. So however many cycles you have missed on the minoxidil and avoided that, like that hair is now all going to fall out. So it can make it seem like, oh shit, all my hair's falling out now. But really, it's not causing you to lose more hair. It's just like that hair that you've been avoiding or like prolonging. It's just, there's nothing stopping it now.
So in a sense, it is sort of dependent on the minoxidil once you start taking it, because if you're taking it to not go bald, you have to take it forever.
You have to take it forever. There's no stopping it. The same thing with the DHT blockers, and that's really the effective thing. So, and you can get that. So, like the peptide world offers things like latanoprost. Like that's something that keeps your hair in the natural growth phase. The same as minoxidil. It just doesn't have the negative effects. Minoxidil causes fluid retention around the heart. So if you've ever met anybody that has taken minoxidil and says that my heart is acting weird, that's because it causes it retains fluid around the heart in some people, and
What does that look like?
It looks like your heart struggles to beat because it's basically drowning.
Oh my God.
If you go to a primary care doctor, they're most likely, I don't want to speak for people that I don't know, but in that world, generally, they will say, there are no studies to support that, and that's not what's happening. It's something else.
That's what we're supposed to say. Yeah, that's the approved answer.
Mm-hmm. But the minoxidil is definitely does that.
And how is that similar to the retatrutide?
Retatrutide. So retatrutide is a newer peptide. It's a GLP. So same as Ozempic, same world. It's an Eli Lilly product, and they're just a big kind of medical company. Retatrutide is so popular because it's a triple agonist, whereas Ozempic, Wegovy, Trizepatide, semaglutide, these things are all dual agonists, which are great. So that's what we talked about earlier, which is like it stops the cravings, makes the food go slower through your body. That's all fine and good, and it works really well. Retatrutide does those things as well, but it also increases the metabolism of the person. So it makes you burn food quicker, as well as making you not want as much food and making the food go slower through your body so you're not as hungry. Now, there's all these like concerns and people like, well, I took Reta and now I'm losing bone mass, or I'm losing muscle mass or whatever. And it's like, yeah, what happens when you stop eating? Right? Like these things happen. It's not the retatrutide. It's that you've stopped eating. And the eating that you do is just not, those are not good choices. So the important thing when someone is taking Reta is you have to like force protein into your system. I think it's a gram per pound of protein that everyone is supposed to eat every day, which none of us do.
Yeah. So much.
Yeah, it's so much. But that like you don't have any desire to eat. So that's where all that comes from. And it's like people that defend these things are going to say, no, that doesn't happen. It's like, yeah, it does happen. It's just, it's not because of the retatrutide itself. It's because you're taking the retatrutide and it's causing you to not eat as much, and you're malnourished.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like things that are third world problems, people to chase and something materialistic.
I mean, it's incredible.
Go back to that because
the idea that GLPs exist, in my mind, is like insane. Like you talk about a third world problem versus a first world problem. GLPs for people with diabetes Okay. Like genetic diabetes. Okay, that's great. That's like helpful. We now have medication that it's basically being used now because we have such a surplus of food and we can't control ourselves not to eat. And that's unbelievable.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so retatrutide,
yeah,
what it sounds like, I mean, it's really, it's sort of, what's the word? Concerning, right? Because if people don't tell you that up front, that it's not necessarily to blame the retatrutide, but that you have to, it goes hand in hand. Like if you start taking retatrutide, it'll affect your appetite, but you also have to make sure that you're taking enough protein and enough like nutrients throughout the day.
Yeah.
It can really harm your system long term because you won't be able to take it on for that. You won't be able to be on it for that long. Do you recommend people that are interested in that to be on and off of it, like taking on for like phases of the year?
I mean, I'm gonna answer that in two ways. My real answer is don't ever do it. Stop eating and exercise. Period. Full stop. Now, if you are going to use it, I think it's great. You can use it as long as you want. You just need to force the protein into your system, which is hard. So what I would suggest is use the lowest dose possible, like microdose if you can. If you're someone that's like morbidly obese, really, really consider serious lifestyle changes, but also start with the retatrutide at a moderate dose. And then once you reach your goal or you get closer to your goal, start to wean off of the retatrutide and start to implement more healthy lifestyle choices. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, most people that do it and will see great results don't change their lifestyle that much and just take a lot of retatrutide.
Yeah, I mean, they just want an easy fix.
Yeah, and if you're morbidly obese, your fat stores will keep you nourished for a long time. They will. I mean,
it's like that doctor. Have you seen My 600-Pound Life?
Yeah.
He's like, you don't have to eat. You eaten for the last 3 years.
I mean, that's true though. That's why bears can hibernate because they get all that fat. So
true. If
you are morbidly obese, you can take Reta.
If you're a bear, you can take Reta.
If you are a little grizzly bear, you can take Reta. So you'll be able to last for a while, and before it like kind of starts to negatively affect you. But but yeah, eventually it will catch up to you.
Okay. And then I guess let's cycle onto a different sort of peptide, which is the one for upping your T.
Okay.
Is there one that doesn't block your DHS?
DHT?
DHT?
Yeah, so the dutasteride and the finasteride, they don't affect your testosterone levels. They block you have two you have two receptors that convert testosterone into DHT. It stops those things. It inhibits those receptors from working, basically. So your testosterone is still in your body. It never converts into DHT. What it does do also is it was created to keep men from getting prostate cancer. So yeah, so it basically all men, if you live long enough and you don't do anything about it, will have a prostate issue or get prostate cancer because your prostate just continues to grow. So it gets to a certain size, and then that's why old men, piss like 8 times a night and stuff like that because there's always pressure on their bladder from their prostate.
I thought it was just getting old.
No,
Women
I mean
do
it
that
is,
too.
but yeah. But I think it's much. I don't know actually about why that is in women. I think it's probably a little bit of both for both sexes, where it's like you do get older. Your bladder probably, everything starts to work less efficiently.
Wear down.
Yeah. But I think it's something like, I think it's over 70% of men will eventually get, if you live to a certain age, will have prostate issues or prostate cancer. So, yeah. So what the finasteride does is it keeps the prostate
tight.
Yeah. A certain size. Yeah. And the dutasteride does that as well. So that's why it was invented. And then they're like, this also has good effects for hair growth in men. So,
but once you lose it, you can't get it back.
Hair?
Yeah.
You have like a 5 to 10 year window there. So once hair falls out, the roots are still alive. As long as the roots are still alive, you can regrow it. Once the roots die, yeah, you need a hair transplant. You get on a plane to Turkey. You can get it here, but yeah, that's the only option. But you do have time. So if your hair falls out, or you have you're noticing thinning or anything like that, it depends on the person. But 5 to 10 years before it's a lost cause.
Okay. So, I guess, I know we talked a little bit about this, the myth about dependency versus temporary use in hair regrowth products. What is your advice, I guess, for optimization tools with that?
Yeah. So, the important thing is to know why your hair is falling out. So, like, Nutrafol can be great. It can also do literally nothing. So, unless you are vitamin deficient. So, like, I've dealt with patients before that, and usually that hair loss is different, right? So, usually that hair loss is like, my hair's falling out in clumps, right? That's like, okay, you have something seriously wrong with you. You have a vitamin deficiency going on, or you're having an immune response to something, or you're having, like, massive inflammation. Okay. And Nutrafol is great. So, like, if you have vitamin deficiencies, they cover all the vitamins, and they give you, like, things that are good for your hair, and it will help you. If you're a healthy person and you're losing hair, that's almost always the testosterone DHT thing. So that's Nutrafol is going to do nothing, like literally nothing.
Okay.
So you would need to figure out, why am I losing hair, and then approach it that way. You do get men sometimes that either have just low testosterone, or low conversion into DHT, but it's usually lower testosterone, and they just have less hair loss. And then you get, like, it's very rare, but you do get men that all of their hair is resistant to DHT, so they never lose hair. So if you see men that have, like, slight hair loss, it's like, okay, they have low DHT. If you see men with no hair loss, that's almost always their hair is all resistant to DHT.
It's good genes.
Yeah.
So what about genetics? Let's talk about a little bit about that. What if your family just loses hair at an early age?
Yeah, then that means that your hair is not resistant, and you have high levels of DHT.
So what would you recommend for that?
Get on topical. I mean, if you want it topical or systemic, like, you can do the pills if you want to. The effects are negative, but topical immediately, like, you can start at 20 would be ideal, and then you can kind of avoid, in theory, you can avoid basically all of your hair loss.
Do you know about how affordable is this for the average American?
I guess that depends. I mean, you can get these things for under $200 a month, but you're looking at, depending on where you're getting it, it's over $100 a month, I'd say, for, like, appropriate application of what we're talking about. So,
and you need, like, a monthly refill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the shelf life on it is usually about, depending on where you're getting it, usually about 30 to 60 days before it starts to lose potency. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All good things. All good things. So we're gonna get into game time. I play a game with all of my guests. Mm-hmm. This is sort of like a true or false peptide edition.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll read a statement, and then you respond with true or false, or partly true. All right. Whatever you feel compelled.
Okay.
All right. Round 1. Peptides / optimization. Mm-hmm. Peptides are basically precision tools with predictable outcomes.
True.
True?
Yeah.
Why say that?
You say basically precision tools?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there really are hardly any negative effects to most peptides. You get, like, injection site irritation, but that's normal. And, for the most part, they react really well with your body because they're things that already exist in your body. Like, it's the same kind of thing as, like, collagen or hormones. Like, when you're young, when you're between, like, 16 and 25, your body is, like, is working perfectly, right? So you have high hormones, you have high testosterone in men and women. Testosterone is the hormone that's like, this is your drive, this is your ambition, this is your strength, right? This is your energy. Like, that's where all that comes from. And so, and peptides are those things as well. Like, you have high collagen, your hair grows great, you get injured, you heal quickly, like all these things. There's all this talk about like cancer and hormone replacement therapy, which to me is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because if you look at if testosterone caused cancer, high levels of testosterone cause cancer, every 18-year-old boy would be riddled with cancer, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So they did that for a long time with hormone replacement for women. And then recently, this year, the whole narrative for a long time was like, do not do hormone replacement as a woman, it will cause cancer. And then this year they finally officially announced, like, this is false information, basically, like we were misled, and this is not the case.
Oh, wow.
Like, the FDA has now kind of shifted their perspective.
Makes you wonder why. All right, next scenario. More compounds equals better results.
Can you explain that? What does more compounds mean?
I would assume, I don't know, but I would assume it means, if I had to hypothesize, it would mean more peptides mixed together.
No. Yeah, no. You want to find the right peptides for you, and you want to... One of the things I love about our company, the company I work for, is it's always about giving people the lowest dose possible and the least amount of product possible. So, like, and I think part of it is peptides are so popular right now, and we're not starving for business. So you can do things like that more readily and more easily, where it's like you're not trying to sell things, right? Like, that's kind of coming by itself. So now it's like, give people the least amount possible of product and the lowest dose possible. So, yeah, you just want to figure out what your goals are. What are you struggling with? What do you want to fix? And then find specific peptides to
tailored solutions.
Yes.
Love that. If someone feels a change quickly, that means it's working properly.
Most of the time. Yeah. I mean, I think that's
true.
That's super true. Yeah.
Love that.
I forgot I'm supposed to say true or false.
It's okay. I know. I brought you back. No, I think it also has to do with people's own metabolism, right? Because if you metabolize things quickly, you'll feel it.
I mean, if you're taking those, that's true for capsules and pills. But a lot of these things are injections, so it just gets right into your bloodstream.
Okay.
And it's right in your bloodstream, and it's like...
I didn't know it was injection. I thought that was... Okay. So
yeah, most of these things are injection, which is usually like one of the number one things that people are a little bit squeamish about. It's like, I've never given myself injections. How do I do this?
You have to give it to yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
You get used to it. It's not that bad.
All right. Can't sell me on that. All right, round 2. This is minoxidil / hair loss narrative. Okay. Hair regrowth treatments fix the root cause of hair loss.
If not minoxidil, I'm not a fan of minoxidil at all. So I'm biased. I think it's kind of a waste of time, and it's just not good for you. So don't take minoxidil. If you want to do minoxidil, try and do it topically, but mix it with, you need dutasteride. You need dutasteride or you need finasteride. And really, if you're going to do either one of those topically, do dutasteride.
Okay. But it doesn't fix the root cause. Because, I mean, it helps you. Yeah.
Dutasteride will, but minoxidil does not.
So how does dutasteride, how does that fix the root cause? Because
it stops, the root cause is the conversion of testosterone into DHT, so it stops that from happening.
I see, while you're taking it.
Exactly.
I see, okay, so I guess it's partly true.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's only, okay, I see what you're saying. So, I mean, you have to take it forever.
Okay.
Or you're going to lose your hair.
I see.
Yeah.
So, most people misunderstand what maintenance actually means in hair systems. Do you think that's true or false?
Yeah. Definitely. True.
All right. And yeah, I with this conversation, I can see why.
Yeah.
It's also like, there's not enough conversation about peptides that's like open and honest to know these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time, like, when I've heard peptides, I hear about it, like, in steroids or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where people, like, take it to be, like, superhuman, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah, I mean...
Not to, like, maintenance.
Right. So, I mean, part of that is, like, some of the branding is crazy. Like, one of the most popular peptide stacks, which is 2 peptides, it's BPC-157, which is the most popular one that we talked about, and then something called thymosin beta-4, which is also referred to as TB500. And they combine that, and they call it a Wolverine stack, based on the comic book character.
It makes you, like, hairy and...
Wolverine. It makes you heal incredibly fast.
Oh.
So if you're like an athlete that is a little bit old, if you're 30 now and you're like, ah, man, like,
if you're an athlete or 30.
Yeah, well, I go to the gym now, and it takes me forever to not be sore or whatever. You know, it's like you can take the Wolverine stack and you will feel younger. You know, you'll feel like a beast again.
Your joints won't click.
Your joints won't click. Yeah, and if you have tears or something like that, like it heals. So some of the branding is kind of like plays into what you just said.
Okay, that's interesting.
But I want to also be clear that testosterone is not a peptide. So, but it's in that world. So,
yeah.
But hormone replacement is not. That's what makes you like. That's what you see guys that look like freakishly strong. It's not natural. It's just like
It's like a steroid?
It's artificial testosterone. Some guys do take steroids still, but like if you just pump yourself full of testosterone, you can get there.
So what's the difference between a steroid and the peptide then?
A steroid is a pharmaceutical...
It's artificially made?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought a steroid like made you produce more of something in your body. I didn't know it was...
You know what? I don't know enough about steroids to comment on that. So I don't want to give any false information, but I do know that testosterone by itself is enough to kind of get you to where you want to go. You would just... So like an average level... A good amount of testosterone in a male is like between 900 and like 1200. If you're somebody, like you can get yourself to 2000 if you want. You know, you can get to 2500 if you want. And then if you're at that level, your muscles are going to be bigger. Yeah, you'd be bigger. You're just going to be stronger. And but that's not attainable in nature.
So does that cause also like toxic male syndrome?
Toxic male syndrome? What the hell is that?
It's like machismo in Spanish, but it's like... You never heard of toxic...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I like, just...
super aggressive, like aggro men.
Yeah.
Is that... Taking excess tea would also cause that.
Well, if you have... The higher testosterone you have, like...
That, more aggressive, yeah. Like,
yeah, you're more of... Yeah, you're...
Everything. Horny, everything.
Yeah. You're more aggressive as a male if you have higher testosterone. Which forever has been like a positive thing. Right? Until, like...
Forever for who?
Well, for everybody. Because, like... for survival, if like, you're going back and, like, tracking biological evolution and survival, you want a male that is strong, aggressive, not afraid, right? And, like, physically capable. It's only now that those things don't really matter anymore.
Because they're not hunter-gatherers.
Exactly. Right. So... Those things don't really matter anymore.
If you're driving down the street, you don't want a guy freaking out, hitting his dashboard, like cussing you out because you semi-cut him off.
Right, but you do want a man like that when you're in danger.
Or you just get a shotgun. Like
walk around with a shotgun.
Okay, like a bat behind your car. You just have to have a glove to make it legal. Okay. Look, there's other ways to go around it, but that's something that's iffy for me because that's a white line, like a thin line that you have to draw. Yeah,
you want strength. You don't want whatever you just said, masculine toxicity.
Yeah, you don't want to like just, release the beast, so to speak,
right,
into society where there's old people and children. Anyway, all right. So round 3, industry reality check. Patient optimization is mostly science-based at this point.
Yes, true.
Why do you say that? Because
you can track everything. You understand why all the reactions are happening in the body. It's not a mystery. Like we know why the peptides work. We know what's happening when they're working.
So then why do you say that's not enough testing?
Because there are no clinical studies. So like, pick Motrin, right? This is an FDA approved drug. So there's millions of dollars where they take thousands of people. take this medication for X amount of time. You get certain sex, you get both sexes, you get certain races, you get certain age groups, you test it with all of them, you give half of them a placebo. You do all these things to see, like, does it work? Who does it work better on? What are the long-term effects? What are the negative effects? Yada, yada, yada. None of that's been done with peptides. So there's no clinical studies on it. But that doesn't mean that we don't understand why it's working.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Most of what people do in optimization is actually experimental.
Define experimental.
I would say they do it without, like, assurance.
I mean, on some level, yeah. I mean, on some level, you could say experimental because, again, there's no clinical
Guarantee.
studies. Yeah, there's no, like, you can't look and be like, 50,000 people did this in a study, and here's what we found. That doesn't exist. So, on some level, yeah,
so it's partly true.
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
Partly true.
It's also because it's so new, right?
What?
It's so new.
Yeah, it's so new. I mean, that's kind of the thing, though, is like it's being utilized and kind of it's newly popular, right? But it's like these things they exist forever,
yeah, and that's what it is.
Right? So it's like CO2. It's like if we just started harnessing CO2 for something, CO2 is not new. It's just the way that it's being like utilized for humans is new.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay. I was going to say something and I
Go
ahead. No, because I lost it. Anyway,
okay.
The biggest risk in this space is the compounds themselves, not the behavior around them.
What does that mean?
I would say the biggest risk is like the use of the peptides, not necessarily how people use them.
Oh,
in other words?
No, I would say the opposite. I think it would be false. I would say how people use them is the risk. Like, again, so it's like if you're using BPC 157 and you don't have an injury, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? The peptide isn't bad. The way you're using it is bad. If you're using retatrutide and you're 6 foot and you're 140 pounds, why are you doing that? Like, the retatrutide isn't bad. You shouldn't be taking it. You shouldn't be using it like that. Yeah, you can go down the list of basically anything. It's like if you don't need to be using it, if you don't have an ailment that you are targeting and you're using these things for shits and gigs, or if you're using it because, you're somebody that's like, you're healthy, but you want to lose weight still because you have a bad body image. That's unfortunate and that's sad that you think that way, but still, you're harming yourself. That's not the peptide's fault. You're misusing it. It's going to cause harm.
All right, round 4, philosophy.
Okay.
And I threw this in just for
Great.
you. Yeah. All right, inner peace is unrelated to physical health.
False. It's yeah. I mean, we talked a little bit about the deep breathing thing, but yeah, I mean, they're so intertwined. It's I think it's unavoidable to be. It's unattainable to be physically unhealthy and mentally healthy and vice versa.
Yeah. I would say the only caveat to that is physical health doesn't necessarily correlate with, what's that word for when you can use all your parts? Like when you're mobile and you're able to like get up and you have an arm and you have legs and you're able to walk and you're able to get up.
Physically capable?
Yes, physically capable, but there's like a word for it. I'll think of it later.
Okay.
There's a word for people that are like physically able to get up and like walk, as opposed to like physically impaired people, right? Uh-huh. That's the only caveat to that, because I have heard a lot of stories, and it can go the other way too, but where, for example, people that used to be able to walk, they got into an accident, something happened, and now they're in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. And some people take that for like the worst case scenario, but other people really find enlightenment in that experience.
That's a great example. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, that's a great example. I think ultimately maybe perspective and like and mental kind of wisdom might override your physical limitations sometimes. But people can also appear physically healthy and not be. So like you can perform well in the gym and you can have great physical numbers. If you're stressed, like the number one cause of disease is stress.
Yeah.
Like over time, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. Like your mental state is sometimes indicative of like, will you or will you not get cancer?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is your body going to be able to keep you thin and like process food the right way? Like, ulcers, right? Like any inflammation, like that's all
It's just worse for the worst possible thing for your body, for your brain.
It's the worst, right? Yeah. Like if you look at blue zones, do you know what blue zones are? Blue zones are like,
oh yeah, over 100.
Yeah, like the over 100, like that's the number one thing that they found, like basically two things, like three things actually. Low stress, strong sense of communal affection is huge, which I think plays in to low stress. And then regular physical activity.
Yeah.
And not even like rigorous, really. Just like
just
walking around, gardening, you know, like tending to your land or whatever, you know, like these kind of things are way better than going to the gym for 40 minutes and like working your ass off. That's great. And that's kind of, we're doing the best with like this world that we're in, but that's not ideal. You know, it's like,
I mean, look at third world countries. Some people there like live outside of nutrition, but some people there like really do have mentally, they live happy lives.
Yeah.
You know, even if they have to walk like 3 miles to get clean water.
Yep.
Like they're you don't see them stressed out like you see people in the city.
Yeah, and I think part of that is the like we're getting rid of too many things that we do.
That are good for us.
Yeah, and just in general, like not even just like just doing things are like the walk to get water is good for you sometimes, right? So it's like now, you know, the better technology gets, the less we are doing. Yeah. And that's not good for us physically or mentally.
Yeah, because especially like now you just want a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
You know, like you get on your game and then you get to kill a bunch of zombies or whatever. You get to go hunting, which I mean, okay, I will say that's the only thing I do promote is hunt online. Unless you actually need to, you know, population control.
Do you eat meat?
Yeah, but I don't want to kill things.
Okay.
I mean, and I don't eat red meat a lot. It's mainly Mediterranean, but
okay.
I don't like hunting for sport. That's mainly my thing.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, there's people that go up to like what's it called, Alaska, and like do seal hunting.
Right.
Like they literally just spear seals and leave the body there.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Any hunting for game, I don't even like bird hunting for game.
Yeah, like for what? Like.
No, it's stupid. It's like it's stupid.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna eat it, my perspective completely changes. It's like,
yeah,
great.
I mean, if you use it, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can go to Amish, anyway, butcher. Like, they're actually great. Like, it lasts for months.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. I digress. All right. Next one. Understanding the body leads to understanding the mind.
Yeah. True, but I would say truer is understanding the mind leads to understanding the body.
How so?
Because the more that you understand your mind, the more you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. So if you, like, for example, if we talk about like food, like cravings, like, okay, why am I craving sugar right now? Right? Like, why am I craving junk food right now? And that's usually because like your body knows biologically, like, this is not good for me. So it's like you have high stress levels. This is how you deal with it. Right? Like, this gives you like a sense of like, it makes you feel good for a moment. It distracts you from whatever problem that you're dealing with because it's hitting all these pleasure sensors through supernatural stimuli. That's a whole tangent I could go on, but I'll spare you. But yeah, so I think the more that you understand why you have the cravings or desires that you have, like with food specifically, the better your body, the better you can manage your body.
Okay. Is that similar to how addiction works?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, addiction...
Because sugar's an addiction, in a sense.
Oh, yeah. Totally. People are totally addicted to sugar. You know, I see the addiction with... and addiction doesn't have to be bad always. So before I say what this is, I'm not saying it's always negative. Because, like, people are addicted to working out. And that's okay. That's usually, like, okay, that's a good kind
addiction
of thing to be addicted to,
yeah.
right? It's like, okay, great. But social media and, like, your phone... Like, you're addicted you are addicted to that.
Yeah.
Like, it is something that you can almost, like, not resist.
Yeah. Like phantom rings.
I don't know what that is.
I get that all the time. I think my phone vibrated.
Okay, yeah. Sure. Right? Yeah. And, like, yeah, that when it buzzes or when it dings, it's like you get that hit of like dopamine releases, and you're just like,
and then you're checking is it's just the mail,
right? Yeah, it's always just yeah. So I think the addiction definitely works in the same way.
Okay, nice. People overcomplicate enlightenment when the basics are already enough.
Man, great question, or great statement. No, I think false. I think it's pretty complicated. I don't think the basics.
Really?
Yeah,
I would say the Buddha would disagree with you. He literally reached enlightenment meditating under a tree for 3 days.
I know, but look, you're getting into a world. Have you read Siddhartha?
I did study Buddhism for a few years.
So the journey to get to him sitting under the tree.
Yeah, it was
long and complicated.
It was a long one. He relinquished all his material possessions.
So you do know.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, of being like prince, and then he went to the world filled with poverty, disease, the ugliness of humanity. It was a long journey, but I think that is the simple things in life, right? Because
no, come on now. Okay, giving up your family, your wife, your royalty, your social status essentially is what that is symbolizing. All of your wealth, all material things.
I think that's comfort. Those are the comforting things.
It is comfort, but that's not easy or simple.
It's not. I mean, I would say it's simpler living a life with no attachment. It's unrealistic, but it is simpler. Because when you're not attached to anything, material or otherwise, and that's what the Buddha was actually like his...
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. The existence is simpler. The existence is simple. Mm-hmm. The journey to get to that existence is complicated.
Yeah. It's unfamiliar. It's very unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear a lot of people go through that. If really anybody.
Nobody, right? Yeah, that's why that like short list of guys is so small, so short. You know?
It's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting one. All right, final prompt.
Okay. Based on everything you see in your work, what's one belief people should completely drop if they want better outcomes? There's no way around the 3 pillars of health if you want to be healthy. So you cannot ignore any of them. It's exercise, sleep, and diet. There's no way around it. Stop trying to find shortcuts. And stop kidding yourself, because I think we all know that. But we always are trying to find a shortcut. So stop doing that, because it's a waste of time. Yeah, I like that. Very smart. All right, closing everything up, everything we've talked about. And this is more of like a whatever thought comes first. If everything in the industry disappeared tomorrow, what truth about health and human optimization would still remain? First thought. Can you repeat it? Yeah. If everything in this industry disappeared tomorrow, what truth about health and human optimization would remain? I hate to do this, but it's the same answer. The truth is, which will always exist, there is no medication that exists now or will ever exist that will replace good sleep, exercise, and good diet. Like, period. There's nothing that will ever replace that. Even hormones? Nope. Doesn't matter. I think at some point you just have to come to peace with what you were giving, the cards you were dealt. Yeah, I'm in that business, and they're pushing me so hard to. I won't even get myself tested. Like, I won't even get blood tested. What do you mean? Like, I don't want to know my hormone levels. I don't want to know I don't want to know my vitamin levels. I don't want to know any of those things. Doesn't that go against you knowing your body? Well, it does and it doesn't. I'm more of a, like, if you feel good. There's an old quote that's, it's more important to feel strong than it is to be strong, and I think that's very true. Like, if you feel good and you feel healthy, don't fuck with it. Yeah. And leave it alone. Don't overcomplicate it. Just leave it alone. You know what's so funny when you say that? We were watching Angels in the Field. Outfield? Angels in the Outfield yesterday. Like, literally just yesterday. And one of the ending scenes, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but is the star pitcher, he already like thrown 156 pitches, so his arm was like sore. And that last one, that was going to be like the make it or break it for them to win. And when he was about to throw, the
coach called a timeout because he's like, the kid saw an angel, and the kid didn't see an angel the entire time because the angel told him, hey, this is the final, like, this is the final game, we can't help. But they told the guy, there's an angel, like, right behind you, he's going to make this pitch the best one that you have. And then when he threw that pitch, it was the best one he threw, and they won. They ended up winning. So it's, at a certain point, a good example. It is like placebo effect, right? If you believe it, it'll happen. It's belief.
And yeah, I mean, just I'm a big believer in listen to your body and trust how you're feeling and try and get it that way. I do think, you know, there's times where somebody has something really wrong with them and they need to get tested, and that's like, I don't fight that at all. But I also think knowledge sometimes about your body and the way that it's working, or if you're slightly deficient in things, it can just stack up and cause all these worries that you didn't have before. And now we're back to the stress thing, right? It's like now you're stressed and now you're causing problems that you
probably didn't have before.
Have before, right? Yeah. So.
When your body is in a state of alert, it does cause, like, to simplify it, other parts to shut down.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's higher cortisol levels. It's not good. Okay. And then, any advice to your younger self entering this space?
Man, a ton. God, we don't have time. Advice to my younger self. Yeah. Take your health seriously. Like I said in the beginning, I seriously neglected my health basically all of my 20s. Take your health seriously and listen to your body. I didn't do that either. You know, like all those times where you're anxious or, you know, just not feeling great and then doing nothing about it and kind of just feeling like shit. I'd say listen to your body and actively work to make yourself feel better is the advice I would give my younger self. But my younger self wouldn't listen anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So really, keep doing you.
Yeah.
Keep doing you, boo. All right. One thing you want listeners to walk away with about their body, mind, or how they interpret optimization.
Yeah. A couple of things. One is it's never too late to improve yourself. So seriously, it's never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are.
I completely agree.
Yeah. How fat you are, whatever, you know. Seriously. How bad you feel. Like all these things, you can work on yourself. And I would say set goals, like sit down and really like think about this. Like we are so distracted all of the time. Like I think that's a part of the reason when you, like a lot of people, when you go to bed at night, we get this rush and flood of like stress and emotion. It's because you haven't given those things at the time of day, because we're so distracted all the time.
Yeah.
So your body is like, this is the only time I have to like process these things. So it's like, sit down and be honest with yourself, which is hard, but be honest about your flaws, be honest about what you want, and try and map out a reasonable plan there. And there's always a reasonable plan.
I love that. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing like the unfiltered truth, so to speak. And yeah, I think we learned a lot today, and it's definitely something to key takeaways that we'll walk away with about peptides and about spirituality in general.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed talking. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Jake.
Yeah, that was fun.